Now, come, Mr. Ben. You disappoint me. You get as much fulfillment out of watching Bond films as I do, so why don't you just admit it?
I admit shagging you would be a pleasure.
Oh.
Hello.
Ben, the Caligula commentary is later. Save yourself for now.
I guess we started with that, eh?
We are, yes. This is how we're kicking off. And hello, you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I've just realised you've not sent me the link to the thing.
No, I'm going to send it to you now whilst we do our sweet and sexy introduction to the comedy dining experience, Man with the Golden Gun special.
What's special about it?
That you're here.
I thought you were going to say it's special because we're watching Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah, one of the greatest Bond films ever made.
I mean, I knew you'd like it.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, not to put a dampener on it from the start. I mean, I didn't like it as much as Live and Let Die, but I still really liked it. So,
no, it's definitely a you film.
Oh yeah. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're keeping well in the current circumstances, and you're joining us today as we do the Man with the Golden Gun, Roger Moore's second foray into James Bond, unless you count television. And yeah, we're pretty good. Before we kick off, I'm just gonna make a very, very quick announcement. If you've enjoyed our Bond commentaries up to now and you're not sure whether you've watched all of them, there's now a handy playlist that you can go to my channel and click on, and all of the Bond film commentaries that we've done.
And where can they find that sweet playlist, Dan?
You can find that sweet playlist on the TYTD Reviews YouTube channel, or you can just send Ben a message in the comments and ask him to link you, and he'll probably do it. So.
And where else can they find all these wonderful products?
You can find them at www.tytdreviews.com. You can find us on Instagram, on Twitter. Ben doesn't do social media because he's scared that the KGB are going to get him again.
And where else can you find these amazing steaks?
You can invest in our current project to buy a small constellation. A small star system just near Kappa Minor. It's going to be called the TYT District. And the idea is that we put all of the bad films that we've watched so far and all of our reviews etched into the planet's surface, so that when the galactic record player finally invades our solar system, it'll be able to play all our commentaries in ultra-high fidelity.
Dan's been on the bath salts again, by the sounds of it.
I'm high on life, my friend.
I just bought some bath salts. That's why they're on my mind.
Is that alongside your order of 755 cans of Tango?
And when I say on my mind, I mean they're literally on. They're on my brain. That's how they get up your nose.
Have you been snorting the bath salts again?
Yes, I'm fully expecting the MGM. I'm fully expecting Roger Moore to suddenly yell at me in a demonic face at some point over the course of the film.
Ben, you've been a rather naughty boy.
I've seen those pisses.
Have you managed to get the link up, sir?
Yes, I have. It's here.
Fantastic. Right, well, we are on a black screen. We are on 0.01, and we are going to be hitting play on The Man with the Golden Gun in 3, 2, 1. Make good movie. Raw. Second raw. Doing your job for you there, Ben. You got to pick up the pace.
I'm getting a bit lazy in my old age.
I remember when we did Dr. No, you were there with your enthusiastic roars. Life was better then. Now we're past the 90s.
I can watch the stream, but I've completely ballsed up the sync on my Blu-ray copy at home, so I'm relying just on the stream now. Oh well.
Hey, it's a nice quality copy of the film as well on this. It's a Blu-ray copy just ripped from my personal Bond Blu-ray collection, which makes it legal.
Ripped off.
Yeah. And we open on Gilligan's Island.
Now, that we should say something about this place. You can go there now. It's called James Bond Island.
Really?
Yep. Well, when they filmed it, it was obviously just this abandoned island off the coast of Thailand. And now you can actually go there, and it's swamped with tourists.
Oh wow, that sounds very very messy.
All hoping to meet Maud Adams. It's Yeah, and then we get our first sight there of, the fun, which I mean, like, there's no reason. Is there a reason in story why he has 3 nipples?
Yes, it turns out this is actually a sequel to the Wicker Man. Lord Summerisle fled the island in a small boat shortly after Sergeant Howie's demise and set up a small island with his gangster connections.
When did he get his little mate servant?
He was part of Summerisle too. The idea was that as long as he keeps it quiet, it picks him up on the channel, I believe.
Now that's the same bloke. That bloke played a gangster in Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh,
We're never led to believe if it's the same guy or not.
Oh,
I like to think.
Well,
I like to think so.
Yeah, for continuity, let's say he definitely is.
It hardly matters. The Bond cinematic universe, it's very long and convoluted.
Now, Ben, the BCU is very important to us all over here.
Did we miss Christopher Lee going knick-knack, Tabasco?
I think he might have, yes. I was focusing more on Christopher Lee's third nipple and the attention to detail the cinematographer paid to his boxers.
Now you know why. Now you know why I've been calling you at 4 a.m. going, Dan, Tabasco.
I know, but I keep bringing you on every night. What are you doing with that stuff?
Just the same thing I've been doing with the bath salts, mainly.
We're going to also turn this very quickly into a Dan tries. I went out and bought some Twinkies today. Hostess
Ew.
Twinkies.
They taste disgusting.
Let's give it a try. Oh.
It's just diabetes in a packet.
Yes, it did. It tastes very much like just really cheap cream.
I can taste I can taste. I can hear your gums melting.
My teeth have fallen out.
Oh, good.
I think I'm diabetically blind now.
Just do the rest of the commentary like this.
Nom nom nom.
Nom 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 nom.
Those chairs look very comfortable.
Now I've got to say, if I was a man who earned $1 million for every time I shot a gun, and I had a little manservant knocking about, I'd build a wacky world too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you've got to find a way to spend your hours. You know, otherwise it ends up going to the government, and you don't want to pay for that kind of lifestyle.
No, why do that when you could live in Wacky Land?
Well, yeah, I mean, Wacky Land has an upkeep of $650,000 a year, so...
And eat mushrooms and Tabasco all day. while your little mate sends people to kill you on a regular basis.
Yeah, pretty much. It's quite a wonderful wacky world that Christopher Lee inhabits post Summerisle. So
this is how I like my living room.
Is it really
complete redness?
Do you have the gangster in there complimentarily, or does he just do his own thing?
Now here, bow. Gonna get you, see that this is how I talk.
Oh, thank you so much, Larry the Feet.
Now I want to know where Scaramanga, did he record that laughter himself, or did he get like a stock sound effect? Or I'm just trying to think of the. I know he's ultra super ridiculously rich, so the question of how he affords all this isn't a factor. The question is why.
It's because when you become super luxuriously, ridiculously rich,
you develop a very camp theatrical.
and then a skeleton popped out.
Remember in the dark, urbane grittiness of From Russia with Love?
Do you remember, Ben, in They Only Live Twice, when we laughed at the idea of a volcano layer being extravagant?
That was some... What's the director who had all the skeletons pop out of the cinema screens? You know this.
Oh, William Castle.
William Castle.
Yeah, this whole film was directed by William Castle, seemingly. I hope you've got your Bondorama card out, you know, scratch and sniff.
I hope you've got your life insurance policies ready to go.
In case you die of delight.
Scaramanga also appears to know the theme tune of the film.
Yeah. Not the best theme tune, I might add, but...
No, we'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, the theme tune is... not in my top 10, I'd say.
No. It's a little bit too wop for me.
A bit what?
A bit wop. You know, it's like wop.
A bit parpy.
Yeah, it's a little bit farty. The soundtrack is farting at us, Ben.
That's onomatopoeia you just did there. which is a fun word to use and to say.
It is, but you wouldn't want to spell it. Oh my God, that raven's got a gun.
It must be that thing, like I say, of when when you become absurdly rich, you just inexplicably develop very, very poor taste.
Well, I mean, at minute I'm sat here
in design, architecture, in clothing.
Well, I mean, at the minute I'm sat here draped in a leopard, so not leopard skin, an actual leopard.
Do you charge $1 million a shot?
I know I charge £3.50, and the missus often rejects me.
You'll get your shot one day. So, should mention as well that Christopher Lee has a sort of Bondy connection. He is Ian Fleming's cousin.
Weren't they both in the army together?
Yeah, well, Christopher Lee has done most things you can do in life, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Including die.
He's done that as well, yeah.
Truly a man of our time.
But yeah, he knew Roger Moore. I think it's like that thing in it that all British actors of a certain generation know each other.
Yeah, there was a weird time where the connection was quite large. In fact, oh my God, it's James Bond.
He's petrified him.
It's Adric. It does look a bit like Adric.
You and I are of the same profession, Adric. You enjoy killing as much as I do. Oh no, help me!
Oh no, it is dead.
Oh, I'm gonna go. I can't. I've been sick.
Adric Tabasco.
Did he shoot him with the? Oh, he shot him with. Oh right, I get it. He shot him with the gangster's gun. See, I got confused then because the golden gun only has one bullet, but he shot several bullets into that fake Roger Moore hand.
I mean,
so he must have.
If we're being brutally honest, this film's premise is not necessarily not necessarily Bond's greatest adventure, is it?
No. And speaking of not so great, the theme song. Now, it's funny that we were talking about this guy just before we started recording, but Alice Cooper was going to do it.
Really?
Yeah, and he did record a version of it, which is on one of his albums or one of his greatest hits or somewhere like that. They did, him and his band did do not this exact song, but they did record a theme song and called it The Man with the Golden Gun, and it's all right. I mean, it's better than this.
Oh, I could believe it.
I mean, if you've got the choice between Alice Cooper, who at that time was in his like 70s shock rock extravaganza phase with all the makeup and all the bleeding and everything, if you've got a choice between that and fucking Lulu, what choice is that?
I'm thinking back to that anecdote you told us during the Live and Let Die commentary where Paul McCartney and George Martin turned up with the finished version of Live and Let Die, and they were like, well, this is a good take. And they were like, no, this is the song. I'm just imagining them sitting there after that going, right, well, we had a bit of trouble with that McCartney fellow. Let's go safe with Lulu.
Harry Saltzman really understood. This would be the last... I think this would be the last film that Harry Saltzman worked on, because him and Cubby Broccoli were falling out at the time, I believe. Or there was some financial issue, I don't know.
The financial issue was they spent all their budget on bloody Christopher Lee's Wacky World set and had to spend 10p on the bloody theme tune.
I like the idea of Christopher Lee insisting on keeping the Wacky World set after it was over.
Yeah, if you went to his actual manor, it was in the basement. Even age 98, he'd still, have like jewels down there. He never lost.
Oh dear me. This is a very, I know they're all like this, but this is a very naughty title sequence, isn't it?
It is very naughty.
I read a thing on the IMDb trivia that is very rude. I won't repeat it here for the sake of your family audience. But yeah, it's to do with a lady's underparts.
Ah, you mean a grundle?
Ah, you mean her cock, right?
Ah, yes.
That's what ladies.
I remember it well.
That's what ladies have. I mean, I've never actually seen one, so I don't know.
Well, have you
they
ever
have the
seen?
They're the same ones as us, right?
Yes, pretty much, except it's a little bit more bouncy.
Oh, right. I was really worried then. Yeah.
You know, I didn't like those Twinkies, but I'm eating more of them.
Dan, do you want to be violently sick?
Yes.
I don't know. I tried a Twinkie once, and I had to go and lie down.
They are very, very sugarful.
Yeah. So here's Bond giving the Wikipedia article on Francisco Scaramanga, because he's Bond and he knows everything.
Do you get the feeling with these films that they're basically trusting Bond less and less to do stuff?
I was like, well, I was born in such and such a place.
Like, basically, in the first film, he was like, you've got to infiltrate a secret organisation hidden on an island. Second film was, terrorists are planning to blow stuff up. You've got to go after them. In You Only Live Twice, he had to literally stop the destruction of the world from space. Now he has to stop a man with a gun.
I do like that.
And he's not even really trusted with that.
Well, that turns out to not be the case, as we'll see later on. But yeah, that's as far as MI6 are concerned, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, it's just it feels like they've basically gone, oh shit, well we can't trust him to stop volcano layers anymore. We're taking that off him.
That guy with the tash, the bald one on the right, is he Cassandra's dad from Only Fools and Horses?
I'm gonna look it up.
He looks extremely familiar.
I'm gonna look it up. You've seen it here first, people, on the Comedy Dining Experience. We're looking something up.
And we're already 10 minutes in. I'm already about to apologise for a joke I made. The thing about cocks earlier was not a reference to Bangkok Ladyboys. The joke was... I just realised because this is a film that goes to Thailand.
Ben, this is the second time you've dug yourself a hole to China. No pun intended. We're not picking on people from China.
See, what I do is I like to ruin all my jokes by explaining them. The joke was that I didn't know what a vagina was, and I'd never seen one.
Well, I didn't get that, Ben. All I saw was you continuing your racist tirade that started in Live and Let Die and has continued up to now.
I'm trying to make a habit of it in each and every Roger Moore film. I feel like it's in the spirit of them. I think it's appropriate.
It's just let me try.
They were gonna film this in Iran, and that didn't happen because the Yom Kippur thing happened.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted to. The script was originally set in Iran, and then even before that, they had the rather ludicrous idea of going to Vietnam. Which, I mean, okay.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, maybe now, but you could make a Bond. You could get away with making a Bond film in Vietnam, but in 1972.
I get the vibe. I get the vibe with these films that now that they've kind of got Sean Connery away, and they've got that little bit more wriggle room with Roger to do more outlandish things, that they were really trying to go all in.
Well, it's weird because with this one, as you'll see, he kind of, and Roger Moore has said this since he says it on his commentary that there's moments where he plays things a bit too rough. Like the same way that Sean would play him. Like there's the bit later on where he's like, twisting, Maud Adams' arm behind him. That's not very pleasant.
No.
And that's something that you'd expect Sean to do. But Roger Moore's Bond would have charmed the information out of her.
Yeah, he would have been much more polite.
Yeah, well, he would have been a bit more suave about it. He wouldn't have been, but we'll get to that. Now, a woman's belly button.
Hooray! My favourite type of belly button.
Of all the types, there are many. There's the in one and the out one.
My favourite ones are the ones that don't exist because they're clones.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was the exact response that kind of thing needed.
Are you saying this belly dancer is a clone?
Yes.
He's familiar too, Baldy Man. What's he been in?
I think he was in The Golden Girls.
I thought you were going to say, I think he was in The Man with the Golden Gun. He's definitely in that. That we know.
What year did Man with the Golden Gun come out?
This is 74.
No, it's not. It's not Cassandra's dad.
It looked just like him.
Yeah, his name is Dennis Lill. It's close. 'Tis close, but
I've decided now it's Cassandra's dad.
Okay.
I don't remember if we see that man again. I don't think we do, but if we do, then he's Cassandra's dad.
You plonker Scaramanga. Got some half-price correctors.
Ah, yes, my favourite show. I like the one where Del Boy falls through the bar.
Top-class stuff, lads.
I can't tell if I'm Christopher Lee or Tom Baker.
I thought you were doing Roger Moore.
All our impressions sound basically the same.
So, I see you have a belly button.
You see, he
Excellent.
was allowed to walk into this random dancer's dressing room because he's wearing a blue suit,
Which automatically decrees authority.
and he has a Mr. T-esque a cigar. Not Mr. T. Who's the other one from the A-Team who smokes cigars?
Winston Churchill.
Yes, Winston Churchill from the A-Team. They did fight on the beaches, and they did fight in the streets.
Okay, Howlin' Mad Murdoch, you go and scope out the
surrendered.
building. Hannibal, you go and shoot down the people. Churchill, you go and deliver a speech to that park over there. With pleasure, sir.
Arthur, fuck you.
I'm just imagining all these stunts and explosions, and then this old man Winston Churchill on a Zimmer frame just walking through a park.
That's how every anecdote with Winston Churchill ends, with him just being incredibly rude and unpleasant to a lady.
Yes.
And then Winston Churchill said, "Fuck off, you stupid cunt."
Oh, yes, I get to touch the belly button first time. Oh, bum, not fair.
Are you doing Bond's internal monologue?
Yes.
Wouldn't it just be bum?
Bum.
Ass.
He's not gonna suck her off, is he?
He's gonna shuck her off, as you put it.
Yes.
I mean, technically, yes, he is, because he's after that thing. Oh no, the baddies are here.
Oh no, he swallowed it. He's got 10 seconds until he blows up like Woody Allen in Casino Royale.
Now, let's continue as if nothing happened. Now, Bond is punching a man. Now, is it ever explained who these gentlemen are?
They are bad guys, Ben.
Ah, right, okay, fair enough.
They do bad things. Judo, head into the wall. Judo, fat man.
Judo fat man. Judo barley man.
Judo Fat Man is my stage name.
That's my real name.
Yeah.
Never mind stage name.
It is. It's very. It's a beautiful name. Do you still do that bit in your act with the twins?
With the twins. Double your pleasure.
Yeah.
I can hear I can hear rustling.
Yeah.
What you rustling?
So, joining us on the comedy dining experience today, I am drinking Dr. Pepper for this film, and I have enjoyed some Twinkies, as you've no doubt heard, but I also decided to buy a small bag of Toblerone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I am trying to get myself in a diabetic coma in time for Caligula.
How are you still able to speak? How have your neck muscles not How have your neck muscles not contracted?
I have a special brace. It helps keep my vocal cords open. Very thrilling.
Now,
She lost her charm.
Not from where I'm standing. And now
It would have been worse if she'd turned around and gone, yeah, I can see that.
I'm very upset that they cut the scene where Bond goes to the pharmacy and has a poo, and then that comes out.
He goes to the pharmacy and they're like, Mr. Bond, same dose of penicillin as last week, I see.
Mr. Bond, your usual dose? Not today, Jeffrey.
No, something slightly different today. We'll forward you over to the STI specialist clinic, I see. No, not that either.
Mr. Bond, back again, I see. Vodka martini, as usual? Of course.
They just have it ready.
Bond should spend the rest of this film just keeling over every other scene in crippling pain.
I think it should turn into a Ken Loach film.
I say, Miss Goodnight, we have to get the soul. Oh, fuck. Oh, fucking hell. Oh,
It's cutting up my insides.
Oh, God, I can't move. Oh, bloody hell.
I feel like I've eaten razor blades.
Weed. Oh, get the preparation.
I think it should just turn into a Ken Loach film, and the rest of it should just be Bond sat in a waiting room awaiting the inevitable terrible test results.
Just a single unbroken shot of Bond fully suited up like he is there, just sat in a waiting room.
Yeah,
reading Hello, flicking through Hello magazine, making small talk with the secretary.
but it's for like 6 hours because that's how long hospital wait times in this country actually are. And it slowly turns into a comment on structural society and the underfunded NHS.
Well, Cassandra's dad was a doctor. Maybe he could help him out. I think he was. I don't know. Was he a doctor? I can't remember. Who cares?
Bond's not going anywhere in particular. He's just had that guy riding him round for the rest of the day.
Oh, just every time you look at Bond now, just imagine the words. Oh,
Chronic pain.
My crippling pain.
So Ben, what are the odds of this film going uncomfortably racist from now?
The odds are insurmountable. I mean, we've not even got to child murder yet.
Oh, I love that bit.
Of course you do, because you're a horrible racist.
That was the bit that made me laugh the most because it was so absurd.
Well, we'll get to that. Jesus Christ.
Ah, Mr. Bond, here for the lament configuration, I see.
Yes. Yes, famous spy, James Bond, who is a spy who no one should know, but I know who you are. Come in.
I thought you died. I die a lot.
I suppose it's more legit that a guy who makes guns would know who James Bond is. Because he moves in those circles. It's probably less legit when later on films where he goes in bars all over the world and it's like, Mr. Bond.
I mean, we say that, but Bond is well known as a worldwide shagger. So
your usual 12 pints?
Mr. Bond, 12 pints and 4 of our buxomest barmaids, I see. No, not today.
And a pork scratching.
And a Yorkie.
So this scene is mainly worth it because Bond makes a joke about willies.
He does. And it's very, very funny.
It's alright. The speak now or forever hold your peace thing.
Yes. You see, the thing is, what he means is he's going to cut his cock off.
That's not a real name.
You just made that up.
Who calls their child Francisco? They're rubbish. You should call him a nice normal name like Jeff.
Like Keith.
Keith Scaramanga. That's your name now.
The man with the golden desktop.
He just keeps calling him Keith Scaramanga just to wind him up.
You're right, Keith.
You weren't born in a circus. You were born in Preston.
I thought you remember when you tried growing that rubbish moustache?
I mean, you know what Lazar could have done, couldn't he? You know what he could have done here?
Go on.
Could have not stood there.
Yeah, he could have done a jump.
Well, I mean, he could have just made sure he didn't have a loaded gun in front of James Bond, maybe.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, if you're a gunsmith who keeps armed and loaded guns sat in your workshop...
I like the idea. He runs out of the room just then, and Bond just goes, "Oh, what am I going to do now?"
It just reminds me of that bit in The Simpsons where Krusty's like, "I owe you $1 million. Right, I'm just going to step outside to go get it."
When he's done in there, I gotta go.
I want one of those little buckets.
Those are for that people put the money in, and to bet on, which is seems very trusting.
Oh yeah. You see what I do? I have one of those little buckets that drops down every so often and is just filled with Toblerone and Twinkies and various other accoutrements. Here comes one now.
You go to a casino and bet Toblerone?
No, I just have a hole in the ceiling of the room I record this in specifically. I hire a small fellow. He helps me out.
I wager the large caramel flavour. You madman.
He's on the edge. He's living life. Oh no! It's the flying sandpiper.
It's just like earlier on when Lazar runs out of the room. I'm just picturing Bond just stood there in confusion. We have a conundrum. He's over there. I'm there, but the gun is here. I'll have to phone a friend.
When he comes back, I'm going to threaten him so good. Hey, that boat's fallen over.
Well done, Dan.
Somebody should pick it up.
Well, I mean, I imagine it's quite easy to do that.
Yeah.
I suspect with a ginormous sinking boat.
Just pick it up, mate.
Just pick. What is the matter with you? Pick it up.
Just pick it up, mate.
What is wrong with you?
We invented death. Pick it up.
We invented water.
We did.
Are we in? I say Cambodia, isn't it? This film is set, or Hong Kong. Yeah.
Taxi, do you know anywhere where I can rent a car?
Taxi pub now. Oh, never mind. That Totty's here.
Brilliant. Totty number 2.
At least she gets to use her own voice in this.
I'm sorry I'm late, James. I had to sacrifice a virgin at 4 o'clock.
Are you just getting the Wicker Man joke out of the way?
Might as well.
We can move on now.
Yes.
At least she gets her own voice in this. She's not like, oh, I see, Sergeant. Oh,
Yeah, you know what? Funnily enough, I found out that the person who did the person who did Britt Eckland's the person who did Britt Eckland's voice in The Wicker Man was the same person who played the secretary for Richard Pryor in Superman 3.
So who? The guy who? Sorry, say that again.
So Britt Eckland's voice actress in The Wicker Man is the same actress who plays Richard Pryor's secretary, quirky secretary in Superman 3.
Right. That's fair enough. That'd be very good on our Superman 3 commentary.
Yes. But I'm going to put it here anyway.
I like the idea of Britt Eckland saying, yes, you bloody well would.
Well, the finer things in life very rarely are.
What a
James
hard
Bond goes.
What a horrible life James Bond leads. So he has to choose between Maud Adams and Britt Eckland.
What a conundrum.
Oh god, it's kind of like when you go to a shop and you think, do I want the Andrex or do I want the other kind of toilet roll? It's similar sort of thing, really.
Now the big question I need to ask you, because I wasn't paying attention, is when Bond goes to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
When Bond goes to sleep tonight, does Britt Eckland do a naked sexy dance on the other side of the wall to him?
Sure. I mean, I think that's implied.
Brilliant. Well, I'm game for this. Let's make it happen. Got to check the room for long spiders.
You promised you would make one Wicker Man joke.
Yes, I've made 3 so far, and that's it.
I altered the deal, Ben.
You wait until Christopher Lee turns up and starts explaining how he got the island. That's just going to be Summer Isle.
He doesn't explain how he got his third tit, though.
Well, you see, I started to cultivate a mass around the 1950s. Of course, when the summer came, that's when things really got interesting.
My dear God of the sun, bring forth my nipple.
More, play the spy. It's what you're here for.
Do you see? Speaking of nipples, do you see hers just then, or is that a result of the HD restoration?
I think that's a result of the HD restoration.
Because I don't think we were meant to.
No.
Well, that glass is very transparent. As glass.
Well, as your dad always famously said, you haven't seen the tit until you've seen the nipple.
As glass tends to be, generally.
Yes.
I mean, it is very awkward. It's like when you go to a house and you're using someone else's shower. They usually have a pistol knocking about.
I mean, I always keep a pistol in my shower. I have one in the shower, one in the toilet, and I keep one in my backside just in case somebody jumps me whilst I'm naked.
One in the
Loaded,
backside,
of course. Up the backside. Loaded, of course, because, danger.
Indeed.
Every time I sit down, it could be the end. Has nobody ever told you smoking's bad for you? Oh, crap, did he actually do that?
Do what?
Do that pun?
Of course he did.
I should point out, I watched this a month and a half ago.
If there's any opportunity for a bad pun to be used in a Moore film, it will be taken advantage of. No stone left unturned. See, now this is not very nice.
No, this is Connery.
Yeah, I think that Guy Hamilton was directing this. He did Live and Let Die, and obviously he did Goldfinger and Diamonds and loads of others. I think this is the last one he does. I think he fucks off after this. And Yeah, it's there's parts of this film. There's parts of this film where Roger Moore's moreness, for lack of a better word, comes through. But then there's stuff like that where it's sort of Connery roughness, and it's just not very nice.
I was going to say as well. I noticed,
and you can tell he's uncomfortable with it too. I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't come naturally to him.
No. Well, I was going to ask actually, because after this film, there's quite a gap between this film and the next film. What was going on in the years in between?
I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, this is 74. Spy Who Loved Me was 77, so that's not that long a gap, really. 3 years. Relative to Bond films, because it's normally one a year, wasn't it? Well, at least one every other year. They were churning them out back in the 60s and 70s. It could be to do with the fact that, as I was saying before, this was the last film that Broccoli and Harry Saltzman worked on together. Harry Saltzman left the series after this. And Spy Who Loved Me was produced by Cubby himself on his own. So I think maybe there was just that sort of transition period, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's not compared to the gap between, like, you know, the License to Kill and Goldeneye, or the gap between Spectre and whenever the fuck the new one is coming out, which is probably never. I think they should just delete it and just have done with it.
Hey, you never know. We might actually catch up before it comes out.
Hey, Dan, guess what? No Time to Die is finally out.
Cut to skeleton.
Cut to the skeleton. Cut to that shot of the skeleton from Scaramanga's house earlier.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting, you know, because we're not that far off. Actually, funnily enough, 2 facts. Oh, hello.
So far, we've had a scene in this film start with a close up of a belly button and now a close up of an arse.
Dan and Ben go silent for the clear close up of a backside.
Quite the contrary. When that happened, you went ah, which is generally how I imagine you react to female sexuality. With sheer panic and fear.
Panic and delight. I must clarify.
You can be delighted and fearful at the same time, I think.
Can you?
Is she the first? No, she can't be the first. I was going to say she's.
I was happily terrified is not something that I ever really want to be.
Roger Moore's Bond can just not stop with the cigars.
You know what though? It works. I want to go to the Bottoms Up Club.
This is just the Bottoms Up Club. I mean, I know it's meant to be a very clever double entendre, but if you'd had a club just called Arse.
Oh, I wish I was spending my evenings at the Bottoms Up.
Where can I find Scaramanga? He'll be at the Arse Club. Ah, yes. I know it well.
A gentleman of fine taste.
Turns into Pop from League of Gentlemen. One of my favourites. Popalaga this place.
We just end up getting Pino Donaggio in to do the scoring. It's all very light, poppy, sort of, you know.
Oh, look, Nikon or Nikon.
I always preferred Toshiba.
Ah, yes, my favourite programme. Me. I love this episode.
What's on Channel 3? It's Adric in a bowler hat.
He calls the police. Excuse me, 999? There's a handsome man on my television. Oh, wait, it's just me. Bye. Hello?
I wonder when they're going to start playing Live and Let Die. I'm really good in that one. Well, Mr. Bond, it appears it's your arse that's on the line.
I'm just reading all the nice lines. Nancy's shoes.
There's some really good stuff here.
The Arse Club. Umber.
Wonder whether the Arse Club still exists.
I think the Bottoms Up Club does. I think. Because most of these places were real, like, clubs and places and things.
Oh shit, I shot Donald Sutherland.
You just killed James Bond. That sign said fucks. So you've got the Arse Club and the Fucks Club.
Brilliant. I know how I'm spending my evening.
No wonder Bond hangs around here so much.
He's history's greatest monster.
So we should probably talk about Herve Vacher, I believe is how you say his name. Scaramanga's little mate.
Knick-Knack.
Yeah, Knick-Knack. They wanted him to be... I think they wanted him to be the next Oddjob. That's why they gave him the little hat.
Can he throw it and cut a statue in half?
No, but he can eat peanuts.
That's a skill.
He's got that going for him.
You can put that on a CV.
And a right randy little cunt, according to Roger Moore on the commentary.
Really?
Oh, yes. Right little sex pest.
Wow.
I mean, they were filming in Bangkok.
Hey, fair enough, In
Thailand.
You only live once, unless you're Roger Moore.
He says, Roger Moore on the commentary says he just has memories of Herve Vacher just getting really drunk every night and just going up to Maud Adams and being like, I'm going to come to your room tonight. We are going to make passionate love. I will get you. which is just probably very uncomfortable in the Me Too era, but there is also something quite charming about it.
It's just, yes, that's a wonderful, wonderful image that's been presented. Just...
I mean, that's what I say to you often, so, I mean, you can relate.
Well, I mean, I was hoping that, like I say, you'd save this for the Caligula commentary, but hey, if you want to spread it on thick, fine.
I'd like to know the story of how Scaramanga and Knick-Knack met.
Well, like I say, Lord Summerisle escaped the island before being burned and picked him up on the Channel on the way past France.
This is all part of my fan fiction, Ben.
Ah, you'll never believe the evening I had. I went to the Arse Club.
His stories would probably be really boring. You'll never believe the evening I had. What, you shot a person? Well, I mean, you do that every night. That's your job. That's what you do. Well, yes, but it was a good person.
This time I very nearly missed. Did you? No, I'm always perfect.
No, I'm literally the best. I never miss. That's absurd.
I charge $1 million a shot and I only carry one bullet. Of course I never miss.
I was reading that when Christopher Lee went to America to go on the Tonight Show to plug this film, and he had the Golden Gun prop with him, and it was taken by customs.
Oh,
but it's like, why did you? How did you think that was going to play out? Don't mind that; it's just a fake gun. I mean, I know this is pre 9/11, but
I mean, again, not to get too down on the logistics, Ben, but I think MythBusters proved that a golden gun would be unviable.
I mean, wouldn't it just collapse?
Yeah, the melting point of gold is significantly lower than the heat required to discharge a bullet. So basically, Scaramanga would put the bullet in the gun, pull the trigger, and the gun would melt. Ah,
yes, famed expert on gold there.
Yeah, no, the melting point of gold is surprisingly low compared to other metals.
Well, where were you when Goldfinger was doing his fucking evil plan? He could have used you as a technical advisor.
Goldfinger didn't have a golden gun.
He had a golden finger.
He did, and no matter what, unless he has a friction power that's higher than the melting point of gold, he's not going to really be doing a lot with his gold finger.
Now, it turns out that, as we've just found out now, it turns out, no, he wasn't a baddie. This is actually MI6 in the boat place. Couldn't he have just said that in the car? I mean, they were alone.
Yeah, pretty much. They could have. But then again, the last time that happened, didn't one of them turn out to be a double agent in Live and Let Die who tried to kill him by driving him off a cliff?
In Live and Let Die? Are you on about Rosie?
There's that bit where he gets in the car and he's driving off, and it turns out that the driver is working for the bad guys because they've paid him like $1 million, and Roger Moore has to basically judo chop him and throw him out the car so that he can stop him from being driven to the bad guy's lair.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Dr. No?
No, I know that. I know which scene you're on about in Dr. No, but I know it happens in Live and Let Die as well.
Oh, I've had copious amounts of bath salts since then. I can't remember.
This is the thing, Ben. I should really tell the audiences at this point. When you watch a new Bond film, it wipes as soon as you finish. So you have no memory of anything we've talked about or recorded since, when this film finishes, you'll be like, what's Man with a Golden Gun?
That happens generally when I get up in the morning, so I'm used to that. This is a very German expressionist influenced film, isn't it?
I'm getting Casino Royale vibes.
Well, as we'll see, Casino Royale will prove to be a very big influence on later films, whether they intended it to or not.
Oh, yes. The thing that I don't get is why didn't they just rebuild the rooms? Why does the inside look like a fallen ship?
Dan, MI6 aren't made of money.
Actually, hang on, it is a bloody question for you. Right, in the background there, you can see that
this was the winter of discontent. The government was skint as it is. They can't afford to... They've spent all the money on rocket fags. And
Ben, those curtains are tailored to those windows.
They spent all the money on Bond's magic car. They have no money left for, like, food and taxes and education and all that shit.
Ben, we're missing... Right. Everything in that room is tilted and ski-whiff and horrible, but the curtains are tailored to the length of the floor.
Yes.
If they just occupied this building, those curtains either wouldn't be there or they'd be super long and running across the floor because they've got tailored curtains.
Well, maybe M insisted on it.
Well, I don't care if the building's at a 90-degree angle. We need proper curtains.
All right, fine. I'll get on a 9-hour flight to Bangkok, but I demand curtains.
What kind of curtains would you like, Em? I don't know. Raid some charity shop bollocks.
Q, what can you do? Well, we have these magic curtains that turn into jam. No, just normal curtains, you idiot. Not everything has to be a magic machine.
Well, we've got these curtains, perfectly normal to observe, but the moment you close them, they burst into flames.
Here you see an ordinary pair of curtains. Oh, fuck off, Q.
Or so it would seem.
Go back to your shed.
What you see is a perfectly ordinary shed. However...
It turns into a crocodile. Observe.
Crocodile. By simply pulling a lever, it summons J.W. Pepper.
Oh, God. That's what happens in this film. That's why he turns up. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah, spoilers. We get to go to the south again.
Q doesn't really get... I don't think Q doesn't really get a lot to do in this one, does he? I mean, I think the extent of his involvement in the story is he gives Bond a plastic boob.
Yes. That's about it. But you know what? He does his best.
Here you see an ordinary nipple.
I see. I'm well aware of those, Q.
Yes. So I should probably talk about these kind of diversions will get less and less frequent. But that was a drawing he gave Q there. It was a very, very exciting drawing. Hence the reaction.
It was a picture of Britt Eckland, but it was really crudely drawn. That 5-year-old did it.
I say, Bond, what on earth is this? It's me in the nip of a dog.
That's a very cruel thing to say about Britt Eckland, Ben. Come on, we're above that.
That was harsh, Dan. You should apologise for that. What was I going to say? Yeah, so these diversions get less and less as the series goes on, but this Man with the Golden Gun was actually the last Bond novel that Ian Fleming wrote, and he died before it was released, which a lot of people have speculated that he didn't finish the whole thing. There was a ghostwriter, and I think a lot of people said it was like Kingsley Amis or someone like that, or some other literary person finished the book off for him. But yeah, this was the last one that the last book Ian Fleming did before he died, and I think he also nicked the name Scaramanga from someone. I think he got all his villain names from his mates.
Do you see this villain I've made? That's you, that is.
At least he got permission, unlike with Goldfinger. I think I've told that story where the real Goldfinger was like, I'm going to sue you if you do that. And Ian Fleming said, fine, I'll change the name to Goldprick. And the conversation was like, all right.
Oh, fine. Oh. Thanks for the boosty. Hope you get arrested soon.
That shirt and trouser combo is blinding me. It's too white.
It's a very bright suit. It's a nightmare as well because he's a spy. He's going to get dirty and that suit's going to be unusable.
James Bond isn't a spy. He's everything in the world but a spy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck's sake. She's called Chewie.
Maybe later, but for now I'm doing spying.
They were really running on empty by this point.
What are you talking about, Ben? Miss Mufti Fuck Me Now is a perfect representation of,
I'd love to
female Bond actresses.
I'd love to join you. Your name is Vagina Fuck. Vagina Fuck. And fuck spelled F-U-K.
Can you imagine if they gender bent this and Bond was a woman and it was like, what's your name? Oh, my name is Cock Stiffington.
Dick Stiffington would be good. Because then you could take the show out, his name's Richard Stiffington. And everyone calls him Dick Stiffington.
Yeah. What's your name? Pump balls aplenty.
Oh dear. The rest of this commentary is Dan making funny names. Now you want to speak of very horrible racism. Now, this character here is called High Fat. In the script originally, his assistant was called Low Fat.
Oh God!
And that was L-O and then fat.
Oh, and you know that Moore would have done a gag about cholesterol.
Oh. and then they would have gone, you can talk, Mr. Swigs booze every night. And
he kills High Fat and says, don't worry, I'm trying to cut down.
God. This is a scene.
No, I'm suggesting you give me £1 million and I walk away.
I love the idea of Bond just trying to extort him, regardless of the mission. Money, now.
He just sees it as a Brucey bonus.
A Brucey bonus.
He's just like, well, I get to kill my target and I get £1 million.
So basically, similar to the last film where they basically wrote most of it by saying, hey, those blaxploitation films are popular, let's do that. How do you reckon this one was written?
I reckon that Harry Saltzman and Cubby Broccoli saw The Dragon Lives Again and went, hey, they're doing our shtick.
Let's do that. Most of the Roger Moore films are basically written by them while watching films and going, let's do that.
Did this film come out before or after The Castle of Fu Manchu?
That's from the 60s, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
What I'm getting at, of course, is that it's very much cashing on the whole martial arts Bruce Lee boom of the early 70s. It's very much this film is very much riding that wave.
Let me have a look at this. I've got a.
I think that Q was ever upset that Bond just casually tossed his toy nipple into the bushes there.
I worked very hard on that nipple, and you've just come over here thinking you're Jesus H. Bond and thrown it in the river. Well, I've had enough.
That nipple cost £12,000.
I've had enough, Bond. I'm taking my Hujama Whirly and I'm flying to Albania.
We all had to take a pay cut just to pay for that. At the taxpayer's expense. Do you realise you paid for that nipple, Dan?
The Castle of Fu Manchu was 1969.
Right, yes, this was after that, yeah. I didn't know this before, but I was reading up on this film while we were getting set up for today and everything. And apparently those two girls are speaking two different languages to each other.
Oh, right.
One of them speaking Thai and the other speaking Mandarin.
Blimey.
Which is just... They just didn't give a shit.
And we're all massive racists.
Well, I just picture them going... Maybe someone noticed that on the set. Hey, there's both speaking of languages, and Guy Hamilton's just whatever.
Meh.
Get me my fake nipple.
That man's got a third nipple.
We have a whole shed of them in the back. Be good if these all just came to life. That'd be a good little sequence.
Well, and I was going to say, in fairness, if I ever get mega rich, I'm going to fill my garden with random, slightly disturbing figurines. Again, with the white suit, Bond is asking for trouble.
And also making one of them turn out to be actually an actual man. And every now and then you walk past him and he looks at you menacingly.
Yes.
So obviously not dummies. You can tell before they even start moving. How did he not know?
A challenger appears.
Unless he just assumes that, I guess that's how these people live. Because he is a massive colonial racist.
Yes, he is. Well, I say not the way we'd do it, but fair enough. Suppose it's warm enough.
He's fought sumos before. Oh wait, no, he didn't. Technically, didn't fight them in Europe twice. He just watched them. I like to watch you guys.
Oh God, this is probably Bond's lowest moment. Giving a wedgie to a sumo wrestler.
Not for me.
Is probably not the best way to go.
Would that work? Really? I mean, I imagine they've dealt with worse than that.
Unbelievable.
What are you talking about? It's very believable that a man would walk into a garden, be attacked by 2 sumos and a little person with a pitchfork.
Kill him now!
Has this ever happened to you? I'm just picturing Bond
taken to the re-education camp.
I'm just picturing when he says, take him to school. I'm just picturing they take him to like an actual high school.
No, sorry, still here.
Can you... Oh.
Fantastic. So I love the bit where Bond goes to hell and teams up with Popeye and Dracula.
Oh dear. Now you're more into your martial arts stuff than me, so presumably there's lots of references and things here that I'm losing out on.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's kind of middling. I mean, yeah, the fight choreography and stuff like that is passable in this film. But to be completely honest with you, there's not really very much in line with the martial arts kind of exploitation genre stuff. There are elements there like the fight stuff, but it's not that heavily borrowed. I mean, like I say, we'll hopefully be doing The Dragon Lives Again as part of these Bond commentaries because James Bond is in that film. And you'll see what I mean.
That is official. That's canon. That's part of the Eon canon.
If we've done Casino Royale, we have got to do The Dragon Lives Again because James Bond is in it. James Bond gets sent to hell and he teams up with The Exorcist and The Godfather and Emmanuel. And weirdly, James Bond and Emmanuel don't get on, despite the fact that they both only really want one thing in life.
I was just saying before the stream didn't cut off. Everything was fine. Fixed it. And everything was fine. Nothing bad happened. That line where High Fat says, "Take Mr. Bond to school." As a kid, I always pictured Bond like waking up in like an American high school, like a classroom surrounded by people, and the school bell rings. He's like, "Oh no, not again! You're not the boss of me now."
Do 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 do.
and the film just becomes James Bond trying to be lucky in high school. I don't have a date for the prom.
Oh no.
I'm going to fail
acne.
I'm going to fail trigonometry. Hey, Bond,
oh no.
Give me your lunch money.
I told you before, Wizzo, I don't carry lunch money. I have a packed lunch.
Oh no, Biff is here.
Oh no, Raga put a mouldy sandwich in my lunchbox. It's destroyed my English homework. Q's going to have my legs broke. So Ben, what was it like working on the set of The Man with the Golden Gun?
That's racist.
Is it?
I'm joking. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not into martial arts films very much, to be honest with you. But I always found these scenes to be the most ponderous of this film. They kind of drag a little. To me, this is like the Thunderball Frogman sequence. Yeah,
this does go on quite a bit. I mean, whenever I review martial arts films, one of the things I always try to do is sort of. Well, I mean, that was.
That's what I did at school when we did judo.
Judo knockout.
But James Bond did it.
Did
you ever have that at your school?
What, martial arts fighting?
No, we had, well, not like every day, but like we had a day once where it was like it'd be like these companies of like judo or karate, and they'd like go across schools and do like workshops and things. Did you ever? We had that once. They came in for one day, and we all got to wear the little robe things and pretend that we were Bruce Lee, and we thought we were really cool. And most of the time, it was just kicking each other in the balls because we were little bastards.
No, we actually had a club at ours. We did a weekly.
Like an after-school thing.
Yeah. It was every Friday night, and it was called Jeet Kune Do. and one of the kids who was in our school's dad was a martial arts expert. He was a big thing for kung fu and jeet kune do and self-defense. So he ran a hour-long jeet kune do class every night on Friday, and I went. I'm an orange belt.
I believe you, but I just cannot picture you as a martial artist.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't remember very. The only thing I remember is the stance on how to do it and the punches. I don't remember any of the flips or the sort of throwing techniques or anything like that, but I just remember how to sort of hold myself and how to throw a punch, and that's about it. But yeah, I was an orange belt.
My friend used to do karate. I think he used to not a school thing, but he'd go to like somewhere in Bury where they teach it, and I always remember going round his house and him having all the robes and things on because he'd just come back. I like this. Yeah, see?
This was quite cool. What the fuck?
I say, a woman punching a man?
Never in this country. I'm off.
Fat just Britain.
Only men may punch women. What was I going to say? Yeah, when it comes to martial arts films, whenever I'm on the channel, one of the things I always try and focus on is the fight choreography, because a lot of these, obviously, as you know, these fight scenes aren't just sort of improvised. A lot of them have very, very careful planning around exactly how they're going to play out. And the key things I always sort of look for are draw distance on punches and kicks and how the director hides them, because quite a lot of these fight scenes, contact never actually happens. It's only usually if you have, like, two experts in martial arts who can know how to soft throw punches and sort of land hits so that they just touch rather than actually hit. For the majority of it, they'll sort of frame shots so that they can do punches that have a little bit of distance between them, or, you know, they'll try and make it out. So when it comes to this, it's passable. The fight choreography in this film's pretty okay.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly explosive compared to some of the martial arts films that were actually coming out around this time.
I never understood that moment. That's Bond's other agent, his other mate, and he drives off and leaves him, and they never explain why.
It's because he knows what will happen if he rescues Bond. Those teenage daughters will end up married and pregnant by the end of the film, so you just leave him.
Fuck him. He's got a speedboat again.
Brilliant. Just what this film needed to help liven things up. Another 28-minute speedboat chase.
Was he going to cut their heads off?
Yes, he was.
It seemed like that was going to be the case at one point.
Boss, no matter how fast we run, he keeps swimming quicker.
Yeah. Maybe this must have been in Roger's contract. I demand a boat chase in every film.
No exceptions.
In fact, I'm just going through in my head. I think they factor in nearly every single one of his films.
Speaking of boat chases and trouble.
Speaking of utter nonsense.
Yes.
We're about to get a good taste of it.
Brilliant. This is what I paid to see this film.
Now, Roger Moore, obviously, he said something on the commentary about how, like, because, as you know, he went on to be an ambassador for UNICEF. And so he would go to a lot of, like, countries in Africa and Asia, and he'd act as, like, a sort of spokesman, and he'd, help people get aid and things. And he says it feels very weird watching himself in this film essentially throw a child into a very, very dirty river.
Yes, which I thought was quite magnificent, just for the bluntness of it, because, Bond has never really been shown to interact with kids particularly, but this is exactly how I imagine he would act with them.
I don't think Bond knows what they are. That's why he looks at the child in confusion. It's like, I say, you're a very small man, aren't you?
Bye. Hope you die.
At least the kid doesn't drown.
Well, we don't know that.
J.W. Pepper takes care of him.
He does, he adopts him.
He adopts him.
It turns into an 80s sitcom.
What would you do if I said June? Oh, Jesus.
Fantastic.
Well, going down by my baby, I'm going down, boat's going down.
boat done come out the water, ding dang, flip flop, riggedy bop, 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 shot me in the face with the water, and I fell over onto the drown boy.
Oh, dogger man.
The role of J.W. Pepper will be played by Alex Jones. Of course, you got to factor in the fact that ding dang, flip flop, boy fell in water, down, drowned, flip flop, Bombay elephant. I know, I'm racist.
I can picture Bond being a big InfoWars fan.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gay demons are coming to rape our children. Sorry.
Now listen. Now listen, Bond. This may look like an ordinary pen. Stop you right there, Q. I've been speaking to the InfoWars online shop. They've provided me with these tablets that will give me improved psychic ability.
Something to look into, Q. Wait a minute. Q. You're QAnon, aren't you?
You're one of them.
You're behind it all.
I must kill you. Q.
And then Q's just like, the earth is flat, James. The earth is flat. I have all the evidence. Look, here. I have a 20-part YouTube series which details it all. No. That's basically the rhythm of every line from JW.
Elephant done come over, steal my wallet, ding dang, peanuts.
Getting in, what the hell's an elephant?
And JW adopted that elephant.
Oh my God, is that a white man?
I think I know that. I don't care. Get your trunk out my pocket, you elephant boy. He fell in the water.
You were talking about low points of the Bond series.
Yes. This is...
Where are you, JW? I got to belt my bum banana.
Elephant done put my bum, I fell in the water, splish splash, I'll take a bath, ding dang, sploosh.
I'm just picturing that line written down. Ding dang, bang a dang, take a splash, bing bang bomb. Is what you said.
Sploosh.
Oh, can't forget that. Sploosh.
That's the important thing.
That's the key to the line.
Why is everyone wearing white suits? The laundromats over here must be absolutely packed.
See, if you're eating ribs and that spills on you, it's going to be very, very embarrassing.
A car just has to drive past you and get a bit of dust on it, and that's it. It's fucked, mate.
Your reputation as an international assassin, anonymous assassin who everyone knows the face of, is going to be very fucked.
It's less of the man with the golden gun and man with the dirty suit.
Less the man with the golden gun, more the man with the... I'm just picturing Bond doing this. More like the man with the stupid face.
Ow, that really hurts. Mr. Bond, your words cut through me more than bullets ever could. I'm going to leave now.
I'm going to resign from this profession forever and become a dancer. Goodbye.
I'm going to learn some of this Jeet Kune Do.
That's a pen.
Oh, wow. Mr. Scaramanga, you appear to be building a gun in my office.
I'm sure this will be fine. He's just building it because he likes guns.
Yeah. Why did he wait?
Because, Dan, this is the Bond film, and it's his turn to die.
Mr. Scaramanga, before you shoot me, I just need to pop outside for a moment. Well, I can't refuse a dying man's wish. Okay.
Now, this always confused me because these guys come in, and Scaramanga's just like, I'm running the company now. Fuck him, I killed him, and they don't just turn around and go, "We're calling the police. You just shot our boss."
Yeah, nobody questions it.
This isn't feudalism. This isn't like the king is dead, long live the king. You just shot a man. You don't just want. You wouldn't walk into like Amazon, shoot Jeff Bezos, and then be like, "Jeff is dead. I am the chairman of the board now." And everyone just goes, "Okay, boss."
I am now Mr. Amazon.
Oh yes, my favourite wine, stupid cunt. I mean, if you're gonna call it Foo Yuk.
Disappointed. He should have gone, "Phoo, yuck, I ain't drinking this no more."
Have you got any Guinness? I could murder a Tetley's.
Have you got any Asda Special Brew?
He's not you, Dan. Oh yeah, I forgot Britt Eckland was in this film.
Yeah, do you remember?
She turns up for
Top billing.
She turns up for a bit and then fucks off and then she's there again. What was she doing in that time?
Driving around the city, looking beautiful, listening to the top pop music of the time.
I just thought she was married at the time to Peter Sellers.
Yes.
I wonder what
she was.
I wonder what he made of her appearing in this one. I did one as well. Yes, but that wasn't a proper one, Peter. That was just a piss take one. No, I was the proper one.
I will be in your Bond movie.
I was the best one. Fuck Orson Welles.
How's it going with Princess Anne? Shut up! Well, you've done it now, Roger. You're on my enemies list.
There. You're in for it now, Roger. Ha! Only joking. Look what I've really got.
I really love Roger. They're all clapping for me. I'm great.
That's his thought bubble. Yes. I'm just fantastic.
Meanwhile,
I almost killed a child today.
I'm great. Meanwhile,
it
cuts to Nick Nack. He's got a thought bubble. They're all clapping for me.
I'm great.
I'm great.
Now this they try and flirt with the idea that Britt Eckland is a woman's woman and she ain't gonna take no shit from Bond. And then, 2 minutes later?
Yeah, naked in the bed, done and dusted.
Well, if you remember, they actually don't shag in this scene. Because he does get a shag, but from Nick Nack, no, from... what happens?
I mean, very progressive for the time, but... Monsieur Bond, I am a very big fan, how you say. Look at my cock.
That's not a very sensitive attitude to two men having sex, Dan. Not very progressive of you.
No, it's not. I apologise very profusely. We will make sure that this is
you will make sure
deleted.
You will make sure.
Yes, we shall.
That's okay then. I guess that's fine.
Very well. On for young and old.
We just put 2 words in the script to completely invalidate the previous scene, and then it's fine.
So, does Nick Nack turn up in the same lingerie that Britt Eckland turned up in, or?
I should only hope so.
Yes.
Mr. Bond. See, if this was the Bond porn parody, the man with the golden pump, then, Britt Eckland would just reveal herself in the covers. Oh, what are you doing here? I guess you'd better join in.
Oh dear, it appears my lingerie has fallen off.
And the music would go...
You're watching The Man with the Golden Caligula on the Comedy Dining Experience.
I say, have we made a Bangkok cock joke yet? Yes, we have. Never mind. Fancy a shag?
Well, yeah, go on. We've got to kill 5 minutes.
Remember me? I'm the guy who slapped you. Fancy a shag?
Surprisingly, this is a shorter Bond film, so they had to put a lot more shagging in to kind of get the timer up,
I don't think... Has he... He's not actually shagged anyone yet, has he?
No.
Wow, we're nearly an hour in and he's not got his end away. He's really letting the side down.
We're exactly an hour and 22 minutes into this film. Adjusting for breaks, we're probably like an hour and 20, maybe an hour and 15-ish.
After about 10 stops and starts on the stream.
Yeah. Well, the film itself is only 2 hours and 10 minutes long, so it's one of the shorter Bond films.
Well, they all average out to about 2 hours more or less.
Yeah, some of them tend to go to 2:15, 2:20.
On a Mantra's 2 hours and a half. every film should just be 90 minutes.
Sorted.
Can't
90 minutes or less.
If you can't tell a story in 90 minutes, then what are you doing?
Well, this is it. 90 minutes or less, and if you can't tell the story in 90 minutes, we just stop the film abruptly at the 90-minute mark.
Mid-line.
Yes.
Good night. We must find Scaramanga and stop that. He had a powerful weapon.
And by that we mean his cock.
Cock penis. This song isn't funny. Remember me? I twisted your arm behind your back earlier.
Yes, and I want you to do it again now. Really roughly.
I repeat myself. Shag, fancy?
Yeah, go on then. We've got 10 minutes.
Rearrange those words.
But James, I wanted to bonk. Yes, I know. Into the cupboard. Thank you.
He puts
cupboard.
He puts her in the cupboard. She comes back the next morning covered in snow, with a sword. I met this lion. I had to kill it, obviously. Good night. How long have you been in there? 5 years.
Can we bonk now? No.
Closes the door again. The Lion, the Witch, and the Bonking.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Totty.
Now, Mary Goodnight had to... I don't like calling her Mary Goodnight because that's a stupid name. But
yes.
Britt Eckland had to listen to all this. Like, she had to sit in that cupboard, assuming she hadn't gone to Narnia yet, and just hear the sounds of, oh, fuck, oh, God, oh!
Luckily, she had a voyeuristic fetish, so she was perfectly fine with
it.
this.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Peter Sellers did it all the time.
Yeah.
When he had Orson Welles round.
That is the greyest, brownest room I've ever seen in my life.
And I like to think, do you think they intentionally positioned that frame so that Scaramanga would look like he was in a coffin?
It looks like Lenin's wake.
No, it looks like because it does look like, Dracula. He has arisen.
Yeah.
Do you think that's intentional? I think that's intentional. I think they were having some fun there.
I don't know though, because he's not. Scaramanga as a villain is a little bit bombastic compared to like any other role that Lee has played. Barring Lord Summerisle, most of his other roles are quite subdued, kind of strong, silent type roles. Whereas this, he's got a wacky world.
He was only strong and silent in Dracula films because he hated them and he didn't want to talk.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You've got his Hammer Frankenstein. You've got his mob films that he was in. Deathline. He's pretty strong, silent type.
Is it true that I read somewhere that he was really keen on the first Dracula, the Terence Fisher one, and then he hated them so much he wouldn't speak in them, but then Hammer were twisting his arm saying, but if you don't do these Dracula films, you're putting people out of work.
Yeah, basically it was something along those lines. The first film he got given a few lines to do, and then he was like, this is shit, I'm not doing this. And then the sequels came in and they were like, this is making all the money, you have to be in them. And I think it was one of those roles that he refused to talk about for years. I don't even think he's on the commentaries on the Blu-rays for those films. I think he just totally disowned the roles. I think towards the very end of his life, he got a little bit more favourable with them. But yeah.
But I think, I suppose when you feel like you're being sort of peer pressured, morally pressured into doing something you don't want to do, that's probably why he wasn't keen on him, was he? I'd say.
Although... But I was going to say as well, though, bizarrely, he was in other Hammer films outside of Dracula. He was in Rasputin the Mad Monk, and, he did The Mummy and Frankenstein. He did a couple of them. And
Christopher Lee was insanely prolific. Didn't he appear in, 3 films a year at one point?
There was a... Right, let me try and remember.
Often in various languages and various places around the world. I know that he did... I know he did the Hammer Draculas, but there's also another Dracula film.
I Love You.
I knew you were going to say that. But there's also another Dracula film that wasn't made by Hammer. It's an Italian film, and he played Dracula in that as well.
Yes, it's Jess Franco's Count Dracula. I've got that on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's basically a more faithful to the book retelling of the Dracula story, because the Hammer Dracula doesn't really follow the book at all that much.
Not a lot of them do, really, to be honest.
No, but basically they got him back in to play an accurate version of the book, more or less.
Go and watch I'm going to pull up another more popular channel than ours now. Go and watch James Rolfe's video on the differences between the Dracula adaptations. That's very good. Have you seen
It is
that?
very, very good. Yes, I have. It's very good.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah, you know the degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. Kevin Bacon
was
is knick-knack in this scene.
Yes, it is. It's very good. Before that was a meme, before that was a thing, there was an actual scientific study into which actors were the most prolific in the sense of which actors could be connected to other actors or famous people the most.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lee, I think, was the second most prolific actor in the sense that he could be pointed to pretty much every actor or celebrity, directly or indirectly, within the film industry for the time that he was alive. Do you know who the most prolific was?
Christopher Lee?
No, he was the second most prolific. Who was the most prolific?
Hervesay.
No.
Go on.
It was Donald Pleasance.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That doesn't surprise me.
When you sort the map out of who Donald Pleasance worked with, his map basically consisted of literally almost everybody. Like, there wasn't a single actor or actress working in Hollywood who couldn't be linked at least by two people to Donald Pleasance.
Oh.
It's really weird. I also only found out the other day that he was British. I thought he was an American actor.
Donald Pleasance?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course he is.
It's because I mainly know him for Dr. Loomis, and he does an American accent as
He's
Dr. Loomis, so I just always assumed he was an American actor.
He's as British as apple pie and steak and chips and donuts and baba. The choice of a new generation. Pepsi got their money's worth there.
Fun fact, did you know that Christopher Lee didn't try a Pepsi until 1989?
Is that official? Is that on the IMDb?
Yeah, that is an actual thing. Ian Lee, the
this is
famous
real?
broadcast...
I thought you were just
Yeah, this
talking
is a real...
nonsense.
No, genuinely. Christopher Lee was famously a Coke drinker. He only ever drank cans of Coke, but broadcaster Ian Lee was working with him as a stunt double in a film in... I want to say it was Afghanistan. And they couldn't get Coke out there. They could only get Pepsi. And
he flew into a blind rage.
Yeah, well, basically, he was really apprehensive. He was like, what do you mean you can't get Coke out here? What is Pepsi? And Ian apparently spoke to him and was like, no, it's all right. It's basically just Coke, but a little bit sweeter. And somebody bought him this can of Pepsi, and he apparently really apprehensively, sniffed it, swirled it around, like it was poison or something. And then he took a sip, and he sort of sat there for a second, kind of rolling it around like it was a Boudelet, before sort of saying
like
to
it's
him...
some exotic... What do you call this? Was it Pepsi?
Pepsi? Pepsis?
Pepso. Where was it? Where was it brewed? What year is it? A 53 Pepsi Max. A fine year.
Well, he apparently took this drink and he kind of sat there for a good 30 seconds, kind of rolling it around his mouth and sort of taking in the flavour before he sort of turned to Ian and said, yes, this is satisfactory.
Well, you make your... Was it a Pepsi Max 53 or a 67? I prefer the 62.
I prefer the 95, the Spice Girls edition.
Well, it's like you make your choice, don't you? At an early age. You're a Coke person or a Pepsi person.
One or the other, and you're forever
if you're
doing
sensible,
a blood feud.
If you're sensible, you pick Pepsi.
I choose Diet Coke.
No, Pepsi Max is
my go-to.
Pepsi Max is nicer than Diet Coke.
I like Diet Coke.
Really?
Well, that's sorted. Roll credits.
Come, Knick-Knack. Let us go back to our wacky world. God, if I was Scaramanga, I wouldn't even bother leaving that place.
No.
Good night. That's not very politically correct, what you just said.
You're going to get us cancelled, good night.
You're going to get us #cancelled.
I can't take another lawsuit.
I'm already having 5 lawsuits from the African American Association for the last film. Jesse Jackson is on my ass. My Chinese
Quick,
is
we've got to
here.
get in the car. Quick, get out of the car. Oh, I sure hope James Bond doesn't steal that car in the background. That would be terrible.
This scene brought to you by AMC, who paid handsomely, I imagine.
The vehicle of the future. Fun fact, when Christopher Lee exited that shot there, he actually drove off and didn't come back for 4 days. And when he did come back, the car was gone.
I love the... it's so contrived how they put Pepper in this. It really is. I mean, look, I can just about accept that he'd be on holiday at the same time that Bond is in Bangkok. It's a bit of a stretch to assume that Bond happens to pick the car he happens to be sitting in.
Just some good old boys. Never meant any harm.
I know you. You're that crazy son of a gun. The joke was just about funny in Live and Let Die. It's being stretched.
I got to tell you all about my adventures. CIA took me away, wiped my brain, replaced it with a crayon. Who you working for this week? M&M Factory? Reese's? Twinkie?
Oh god, I just fall silent in shock at these scenes.
I love Twinkies.
Scaramanga should have just shot him point blank.
Of course, I can't eat them these days due to the diabetes.
$1 million hit on J.W. Pepper.
I'll do it for 500k as long as he never turns up again.
Fuck it, I'll do it for free.
This one's on me.
The Milky Bars are on me. That has no. I just wanted to hear Christopher Lee say that.
Cause, and when you left, I got put into the solitary. The CIA came, broke my skull open, got a plastic plate in there. Everything works great except whenever Marie revs up the microwave, I piss my pants and forget who I am for 30 minutes. I'd watch a J.W. Pepper film.
You know, whenever you watch this the other night, I noticed that Britt Eckland, she's got quite good comic timing.
Yeah,
like which is not something that she got to do often. But she's very good at looking incredulous. Which is what she has to do most of the time in this film.
Okay, so here's my pitch for a J.W. Pepper movie. The film takes place immediately after this film. He gets deported back to the American South, and he has to try and convince his police buddies that he's actually good friends with a secret agent, and none of them believe him. And the rest of the film is just him sort of very distressed and distraught, slowly falling apart that all of this happened and no one believes him.
He eventually suffers a massive embolism at a Trump rally.
Yes.
Many years later.
At some point in 2017.
They stole the election from you, Danny.
QAnon! What's a QAnon?
QAnon? On whose side?
You know I'm going to miss him.
Well, you can miss him terribly, because he ain't coming back. I mean...
Are you sure? Does he not turn up in Quantum of Solace?
What the fuck?
What was that?
You know, Sheriff J.W. Pepper was realistic for about 4 minutes in his first scene, and in Live and Let Die. And then eventually, they have him sticking out of cars and going, "Oh, will you learn to drive, boy?"
Just some good old boys.
Oh, Christ. Now, in this scene, Britt, you're being flung about. Fling about.
Bond, now the good night's gone. Maybe I could be your Bond girl. Put on one of them slinker things.
I love your abridged series version of Man with a Golden Gun, starring J.W. Pepper. Oh, an angel's just brought me some food.
Ah, was it J.W. Pepper?
It was, yes, it was. I've got Chinese.
Ooh, very fitting.
Yeah, that's why I ordered it. I thought it'd be appropriate. Sorry, you have to cut out the sounds of me crunching from this. It'll take about 2 hours of post.
That's absolutely fine. I want a spin-off series where JW and Nick Nack team up to try and find Bond again.
I'm liking the little crossover fan fictions we've got going on here.
One for revenge and one just for catching up's sake.
Reminds me of that scene in Alan Partridge where he's pitching ideas over the table.
Yes. Youth hosteling with Chris Eubank. Oh, here's your favourite scene in Bond history, Ben. Oh. The one that they purposely ruin.
That's the only explanation. Oh, God.
You're not thinking. Yay!
Alright, first of all... Oh, God.
Yay!
First of
Ruined
all,
it.
Point number one, Bond would not know who Evel Knievel is.
No.
Bond has not heard of Evel Knievel. I reject that. That is utter shit.
He didn't even know who the Beatles were.
Second of all, that insert shot of J.W. Pepper flipping over was terrible. They didn't even bother to match the fucking interior of the car. They just got him to flip over in a black room. and what pisses me off is that is amazing what we see on camera. They flipped a car over. That is incredible. And they put a slide whistle over it. It's like... You only get to do that like once. I think they did it like 3 times. But you're lucky if you get to do something like that once on camera. I just want to be... I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in the editing suite when they were sat there and one of them said to the other, you know what this scene needs? I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when that happened.
You know what this film needs? More JW. Can we actually have a cut from the inside of the car as it's upside down with him pulling a funny face going, boy!
I know, like, not only do they put that stupid Benny Hill sound effect on it, they put in more JW.
Which is even better.
That's like... I know that Bond films weren't really subject to quote-unquote studio interference, but it feels like something a studio would say, wouldn't it? We need more of that funny guy.
That American fellow. We need more of him. I like the fact he's even got his hat on funny. It's like, how can we make JW... It's Poochie. JW is Poochie in this film.
I gotta go,
when he's not on screen.
My planet needs me.
Poochie died on his way back to his home planet.
And everyone cheered.
I'd really love to see him turn up in No Time to Die. I don't care that he's dead, but CGI him in. They did it with Mark Hamill. You know, you have this really gritty, proper, action-paced Bond film, and all of a sudden he's like, I know you! About 40 years ago, you flipped me!
If JW was around today, he'd be going around fucking... he'd be an anti-masker.
Yeah.
Them masks give you mind control powers.
Hang on a second, I got a cough on you.
So the liberals can brainwash our kids into becoming commies. And I mean, and then, so I'm just picturing writing the script, and then Scaramanga's car flies away.
Of course, we can't just have it take off, so we'll have it converted into a plane car.
He has a flying car.
He does. Is it a good time to mention that Ian Fleming also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Him and Nick Nack. We go together like wop 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 bibbidi bop ba doo, just for each other.
Oh, you pretty golden gun, I'm going to shoot.
They're both singing together in the car.
Yes.
I was doing the end of Grease with a flying car. We go together like wom 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 bingity dingy dong.
It's a bad time to say I've never seen Grease.
This is our song, Nick Nack.
This is you and me, Nick Nack. You and me against the world.
Well, Grease ends with a flying car.
Oh, okay.
That was the reference there.
Now, one of the things that I kind of... It troubles me is JW's never seen or heard from again.
He was taken care of.
One of the things I joked with you on the messages when I was watching this the first time was I thought it would have been really funny if after the post credits it just cut to some, Taiwanese jail, and JW was just sat there on a bench, dishevelled,
awaiting public execution.
He's just occasionally sat there, okay, like somebody will walk past and you'll see a shadow cast across the wall and he'll sort of look hopeful, and then he'll realise it's just a guard and he'll go back to sort of sobbing a bit.
The only sound is the sound of a dripping tap, slowly, disconsolately dripping away.
There's a faint roar in the distance of prisoners screaming and arguing, but it's so far in the distance.
As they're taken to be hanged.
Yes. Oh God! You just see in silhouette, you see the bars of his jail cell open, and a guard step up, and he goes, "You're here to send me home, thank God!" And then he sort of holds up the silhouette of a noose.
This sounds like a PIF. What you're describing right here.
Oh boy, you're not thinking of.
Watch out for free-nippled men in flying cars.
Featuring Les Gray from Mud.
I know they cut it for comic effects, but I'd love to see the scene where Bond is like, and then he took off in a flying car.
And he was never seen again.
M just downs another shot of whiskey. I fucking hate this place. I hate this job. I hate everyone in it.
Come on now, Em. Only 10 years to retirement.
I want to be a postman. I wanted to be a lumberjack, leaping from tree to tree cut.
I knew I should have taken that job with QAnon.
They were offering me a decent wage.
And they had free dental.
Dental plan? Lisa needs braces.
Dental plan? Lisa needs braces.
Lisa needs braces.
Rather like
the film, our conversation has devolved into nonsense.
It's because with JW on board, nothing needs to make sense anymore. Personally, I think that when they get to the island to fight Scaramanga, JW should have turned up and saved the day.
You know what? They should have. It should be a scene where Scaramanga's got Bond cornered. He's about to point blank with a golden gun. He's like, "I have you now. I knew I was always the best." And then you just hear the sound in the distance. And Sheriff JW comes in a flying car.
Smashes through the building, destroys Scaramanga's death tower.
I escaped from the Cambodian detention cell. I won't bore you with the details of my miraculous escape, but here I am.
I spent 10 minutes in the Viet Cong jail. Now I got out and gonna crash through the building.
I have to do some things I'm not proud of. Dark things.
Watch out, Bond. You're gonna hit the building. You're gonna hit the building. And he's dead.
It's like Looney Tunes.
Oh, wait, no, he's alive. Okay, everything's fine.
It's like Looney Tunes. You just see a tiny explosion.
Credits. There's a fly on his shoulder.
The wonders of Blu-ray restoration.
Like, if you look... Oh, it's gone now.
It's actually be an option on the Blu-ray. View with fly.
When we explored the elements of the 35mm print of The Man with the Golden Gun, we discovered a small fly hung around with Roger Moore for the entire of the shoot. Unfortunately, we are unable to remove this fly, so you just have to enjoy the fly cut of The Man with the Golden Gun.
We actually added the fly in post-production. This was at the insistence of Eon Productions. We're still not sure why exactly. They also insisted on the digital reinsertion of Moore's Sheriff JW. So anyway...
mate, the commentary's fact. Spent fucking ages, mate, doing fucking commentaries. Fact, mate. This is like the 4th time we've had to restart it.
Is it in the same room, or...?
I've changed the room now. We're in a different streaming room.
You have not sent it me.
Oh, no. Oh. Bloody hell. Right, hang on. Right, here we go. Professional people. We're doing our best.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. There you go.
Right, okay. Don't worry, Dan. We'll get through this together.
And Christopher Lee has just drenched Knick-Knack in his Boudelet 76, chilled at 4 degrees Celsius.
Right, hang on. I'm clicking to launch Venom. Ah, yes, here we go.
But he has arms, you see, so he can't be unarmed.
Before the stream didn't stop. What I was going to say was there's an anecdote apparently where they were walking around these islands and there was a bat cave.
Oh,
A
right.
little cave of bats, and all these bats just flew out of the cave past everyone. And Roger Moore looked at Christopher Lee and said, "They are yours to command, Master."
Oh, God, that's simultaneously a little cringy, but very cool.
And Christopher Lee apparently found it very funny. I can just, you know what's funny? I can just picture like Christopher Lee basically being like, yeah, very funny.
Yeah, very funny. Well done, you.
I hate those films. I don't like talking about them. Thank you for bringing back painful memories.
I'm sorry, would you like a Pepsi? A what?
What did you just say to me? What the fuck did you just call me?
I have a gun, an actual gun. I was in a war. You tell me what you mean right goddamn now, or I will break your neck.
I am Francisco Scaramanga. I have finer tastes. Knick-knack, tango.
Make sure that the umbongo is chilled appropriately.
Knick-knack, Fanta, fruit twist at once. This is where I brew the Fanta. That's what those giant tanks are for. That's why he keeps them chilled.
But Scaramanga, don't you see that sacrificing me won't bring back your damn apples?
Sacrificing me won't bring back your Fanta fruit twist.
It will not fail.
So what are all these buttons and pipes and tanks for, Scaramanga? And what's he for? What does he do? He just looks at Bond. I don't fucking know.
90% of this is just for looks.
This was here when me and Knick-knack moved in.
I don't know, mate. Something to do with electricity, mate. Not my circus, not my monkeys, mate. Asked, mate.
I am so rich, I have literally bought Dexter's laboratory. Dee Dee, stay out of my laboratory. Never mind.
Scaramanga.
Never mind what does this button do. I will fucking shoot you, bitch.
Scaramanga, your lab is incredibly impressive. Lab? This just helps power the wacky wonderland. The what? Oh, you'll see.
Lab? This is where I keep my flying car.
Won't that burn him horribly?
Francisco, I must take obsession with you here. One of my pet peeves. He will not literally have the sun in his pocket. That is impossible. What would that look like?
Well, of course, I was speaking figuratively. I don't care if you were speaking figuratively. It's not true, is it?
If you were speaking figuratively, then you wouldn't have used the fucking word literally, would you?
This is the room that Scaramanga records his podcast in.
You'd have said he'd figuratively have had the sun in his pocket. Not literally, you big free-nippled bellend.
Hello, you're listening to the Scaramanga cast, episode 106, Me.
And today we're talking about Avengers Endgame.
I really enjoyed Avengers Endgame. It was a 5...
We're reacting to the new Star Wars trailer.
And today we're going to be... And today we're going to be reacting to How I Make Slime, Ryan's Adventures. That's not a mushroom-shaped rock.
Watch that rock-shaped rock.
Ah, I know exactly which one you're on about now.
You mean that one over there? No, that one there. Oh, yes.
Very impressive.
You can get Sky Atlantic with that.
Mine's bigger.
I love The Sopranos.
Can't stand that Game of Thrones, though. What a bunch of wank.
Well, you'll hear about it on my podcast called Why Game of Thrones is a Load of Wank.
Episode 406. It's actually only 10 degrees.
I'll be honest, Mr. Bond. I don't have a fucking clue what any of this stuff does.
Me and Knick-knack found it.
I'm just fucking around.
I was originally just a podcaster, but Patreon money is good.
Come and join me and Nick Nack on our Discord.
We'll be recording a commentary for The Man with the Golden Gun, starring me.
We're doing a watch
Scaramanga.
along. We're doing a watch along with The Room. That's my favourite movie. I did not hit her. Ho ho, hilarious.
That Tommy Wiseau chap certainly knows his onions.
Now, what's funny is that in real life they couldn't afford the laser optical effect, but it actually makes it more realistic because lasers are invisible in real life.
Yes.
But I mean...
Well, this gun's silver, so... no.
So fuck off, actually.
Yes.
What is it with men with gold in their names and giant lasers? You know what? For such a wacky world, Dexter's Laboratory Lair, he has an oddly small kitchen.
Well, I suppose it's got to be functional more than anything else. So Scaramanga doesn't really... Ah, hello. Scaramanga doesn't really suit me as the kind of person who's too worried about food.
Well, he seems to mainly exist on mushrooms and Tabasco, so...
Well, yes. And he is only about 2 stone, so... My favourite.
Insert magic mushroom joke here. You should join me and Nick Nack tonight. We're on the mushrooms, so we're going to get blitzed.
Come on, everybody. Shots, shot, 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 shot.
We like to drink with Bond, because Bond is our mate.
And when we drink with Bond, he gets it down in... No, Mr. Bond, it was a panda pop.
Is he just eating mushrooms? You don't just eat mushrooms on their own, they're a side dish.
Yes, you have them with something.
You have them with KFC.
I don't like mushrooms.
Why don't you like mushrooms, Dan?
I don't like the texture. I can only just about eat them in soup, and the flavour isn't really my favourite thing.
I love mushrooms. Mushrooms with steak. That is a perfect combo to me.
Not my circus, I'm afraid. I don't, especially big beefy mushrooms. I can't stand them.
Oh yeah, those button mushrooms. No. Those button mushrooms. Oh, brilliant.
I can just about do button mushrooms if they're like really, really properly small ones. I can do them very, very, very like if you hold them up to the light, they're see-through, thinly sliced on a pizza. I can't do mushrooms like as mushrooms.
But you can eat mushrooms on pizza.
If they're like transparent.
So you would not be welcome at Scaramanga's Wacky World.
No, Scaramanga's Wacky World is a 3 mushroom limit.
Is there 2 mushroom?
Ah!
And now
Roger Moore didn't do that pun.
And now the commentary is over. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
This is a good scene, actually, like dialogue-wise.
Did you hear that good night? He said man oh man.
The little showdown between... It's funny with these wacky Bonder films. They always have at least one scene which is played quite straight and dark, like this one, for instance. It's a good bit of acting from Roger and Christopher.
Well, I only need half a bullet.
Well, I don't need any bullets at all. I'll just judo chop you.
Judo chop? I'll just throw my gun and it'll knock you out.
I'll smother you.
You ever been beaten to death with a shoe?
I'll shame you to death.
I'm going to get you cancelled.
I'm going to cancel you for a crime you didn't commit.
I thought you were saying we were going to have steamed clams.
No, I said steamed hams.
You call them steamed hams.
Yes.
And you call them that despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
Steamed hammed, but it's the man with the golden gun. Is that the name of this?
Basically. Britt Eckland is like, Roger, the house is on fire.
No, Mary, it's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Scaramanga, you are an odd fellow, but I'll give you this. You steam a good ham.
Scaramanga just turns around and shoots him. I mean, what's to stop him?
Well, yeah, he only needs one.
Apart from his stupid, silly sense of pride.
Hmm.
You know, Scaramanga doesn't really have much of an evil plan in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For a Bond film, this is really quite low-key.
He just wants to steal a thing that makes solar power, and then he sells it on. But that doesn't actually sound that bad. Especially these days.
Pretty much.
Fuck man, come on Scaramanga's side.
Yeah, I think that they'd probably have done a pretty good job on this, in fairness. I mean, like I say, you've gone from Blofeld kidnapping nuclear missiles to hold the world to ransom to this man wants to give everyone cheap and free energy, and somehow that's a bad thing.
Yeah. If he wants to, eat mushrooms all day in his fun house, then let him. More power to him.
Yeah. What if I kill you?
It doesn't make sense to this because the implication is that Nick Nack wants Scaramanga to die, but then he's really pissed off later when Scaramanga dies.
I mean, Ben, this is a world that's established one film previously that voodoo and psychic abilities are real.
Oh no, you know what? Now I've thought about it, I've just answered my own question because Bond blows it all up at the end. So Nick Nack's probably fucked off that Bond blew up his sex palace.
Yes. I mean, so let me get this.
Oh, the mushrooms! What do I do now?
Just to clarify, Ben, the Roger Moore Bond universe is a universe that has clairvoyance and psychic telekinetic abilities that are real. Mm-hmm. Religion is real and actually exists, and there is actually voodoo high priests who are real and spirits who can sort of fly around. But also, it's a world where if you kill the boss of a thing, you can become the boss of the thing without really having to do anything other than to say, I killed your boss, I am now your boss. Yeah,
the Roger Moore Bond films exist in a sort of feudal society, where it's sort of survival of the fittest, really, is the natural law of all governments and all societies.
I'm so glad that the reboots got rid of all of this farcical, enjoyable stuff. I don't see any long spiders. Maybe this is going to be a nice home for me. Oh no! We've entered a random attack encounter.
This scene directed by Dario Argento.
Yeah! With music by Goblin.
That's like a door, but it's on its side. That's not right.
Trippy as, mate.
I don't like that. This is what happens when you eat those bloody mushrooms. You go a bit funny.
I knew I should have kept to my strict vegan diet.
I think I drank too much foo yuck on the way here.
Hard cut to JW in a prison cell.
While all this silliness is going on.
Yes.
Every now and then we're just reminded of a man's mortality. And how he died for being stupid.
In many ways, JW is the perfect replacement for Roger Moore's Bond. I'd love to see The Spy Who Loved Me with JW Pepper playing Bond. It appears I've become a mime. Look, you see, it's an imaginary wall. That's the edge of the level. He can fall off there and never get back.
It's like the Stanley Parable. Oh no, James Bond is going into the wacky world. He shouldn't do that.
Now we're going to have to reset the film to the beginning.
Oh dear. I mean, it struggles me to think that Scaramanga's apparently done this dozens of times with loads of gangsters and criminals and assassins, and none of them thought to do what Bond's doing now. It seems
which is climb under the level.
Seems pretty obvious.
You know what this is reminding me of? Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh yes, I remember that bit in Super Mario Sunshine when Mario fought Al Capone.
No, but you know that. Have you played Super Mario Sunshine?
Well, most of it.
You know the level where
I don't like it.
Oh, I love it. It's a great game. You know the level where there's like a top half of the level and then you can climb underneath the level and there's like loads of jumpy pads and stuff like that underneath the level.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of that.
It's reminding me more of Batman, as in the 60s Batman. With that with that really aggressive purple lighting.
With Vincent Price as Egghead.
It's giving me the fear.
Don't worry, they'll break out into dance in a minute.
An excellent choice, Mr. Bond. Shame Vincent Price never did one of these. He would have been great.
Well, Mr. Bond, you did it again.
Oh, God.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Do you think Sean Connery would have put up with this?
Sean would have just shot Scaramanga in the back when they were on the beach.
Yeah.
And when I say on the beach, I mean as soon as his plane landed.
Yeah. Oh, he's got him. It's a trick, Bond.
I like to think that Bond actually dies, and that from now on in the series, it's the mannequin Bond who's just come to life.
Like that film about that mannequin with Kim Cattrall. Oh, what was the name of that mannequin film with Kim Cattrall in?
Dirty
Dancing. I can
Dancing.
remember the name.
Dirty Dancing 2.
It was Sex and City, the movie.
It was Roadhouse, I believe it was his name.
Britt Eckland really does not have a lot to do in this film, does she?
Well, you say that, but look, you hit a man.
Into a vat of acid.
Into a vat of tango. And now said man, his death is now going to basically kill everyone.
I know, but couldn't you have just had him, like,
because look, Dan,
fall over?
Can she not read Absolute Zero? Coke Zero.
Of course, Mr. Bond, we've been working on the Diet Coke prototype now for many years.
What if there was another variant of Coke? You madman, Scaramanga.
Ah, come, Mr. Bond, if you could do it yourself, you would too. Imagine a Coke with 0 sugar. I call it Zero Coke.
You are a deranged lunatic, Scaramanga. You must be stopped at all costs.
They laughed at me when I suggested putting vanilla in Coke. They said I was a fool, a madman. Of course, I'm successful now, so who's laughing?
I should kill you right now, you son of a bitch.
And who are the so-called people of the Pepsi Corporation? I'll tell you where they're not. On stage now, collecting a Golden Coke Award for being a top manufacturer. You tit midnight, you've doomed us all.
No, Bond, I don't believe in signs. I don't believe they exist.
No, Mr. Bond,
What?
I can't read.
I've been in 25 car crashes since last month. I just don't believe in signs. What are signs?
Concussion I have. Speak good, no, not now me.
I mean, everyone talks about signs, but are they actually there?
Do they understand them? What do they say, and why? Drat, he's put it in an airtight container.
He's put sellotape on it. My one weakness.
He's put it in that type of packaging that's airtight sealed, so you have to get a pair of scissors to cut them open. And more often than not, you'll cut yourself on it because you can't open it. It's blister packaging. There's no chance.
They didn't train me in the Royal Navy for this.
Arse.
Basically, in the last 10 minutes, Britt Eckland just completely fucks everything up for everyone.
Yes. Basically. Oh no, I've opened Scaramanga's podcasting bay. Now I have to record a podcast.
Today we are reacting to WandaVision, episode 2.
Ooh, good one.
The cameraman who shot that can no longer see. I don't know. Those tape machines are just there to record podcasts. What?
Oh no, I've just opened Discord.
Bond, I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
You're just saying things.
What? Hang on. Wait a minute. I think you're right, Dan. I don't think she can read. Did you hear the line?
Yeah.
She said computer interlock. It did not
Well,
say
you
that.
know what? You know what we need to do?
Teach her to
We need
read.
to send her the complete series of You Can Read. You can read, you can read, you can read, you can read.
She sat there watching it with Q. all our top COD officers watch this, Mary.
You can read. You can read.
It's part of the standard curriculum.
Can you say Big Mac?
Well, I don't know the meaning of the words computer interlock, but I could really do with a Big Mac right now.
I like ice cream.
Good night. You should see a sign that says computer interlock. It says self-destruct island and kill everyone. Yes, James, this is the one.
I've definitely found it. I'm pushing the button now.
I'm pushing the button that says don't self-destruct the island.
She just runs and swan dives out of the window that's just been opened.
I thought that was going to happen at one point. That's how it's shot.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the first useful thing you've done all day.
Oh no, Scaramanga's wacky world is taking over the rest of the complex.
Fantasy and reality are blending together.
I'd like to choose this moment to put the Zap theme tune in over this, you know. I can't read.
I can't swim, I can't read. I don't know how to dress myself, apparently.
What's breathing?
I mean,
Why does Scaramanga have such a veritable supply of melons?
well, you can never be too careful.
What, in case he's caught short without a melon?
You know, sometimes you've just assassinated a businessman and you just really fancy you'd kill a melon.
Knick-knack, cantaloupe, over easy.
I know that every Bond film has to end with the evil lair exploding. It just feels really arbitrary in this.
It does.
Like once he's
say,
killed Scaramanga, the story's kind of over.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, what I will say is one thing that I have enjoyed since the introduction of Diamonds Are Forever is the bad guy has one last stab to try and kill him, and it fails miserably, but it's a bit campy.
Oh, I'm sure that won't happen here. Don't wait a minute.
Ooh, hang on a second.
Hang on a big bloody second.
I still say my favourite one of those is Live and Let Die, but the Diamonds Are Forever one is pretty good too.
With Teehee on the train.
Yes. Where the only thing that... with the Diamonds Are Forever one is the one with where it's like the only thing that catches him out is that the wine is the wrong year.
Oh, yeah. And
he's like...
I know you two. You're a pair of degenerates.
He's like, oh, you've made me my favourite cake, brilliant. Oh, you've bought me such a lovely beef dinner, fantastic. Oh, you've bought me a 58 wine. Sips the wine. This is 57, you're all killers! He throws them off the boat and they explode.
This is why Bond is barred from every restaurant.
The thing is, he can't. He doesn't actually know the years of wine. He just makes it up so he can kill people.
This isn't room temperature. You must be working for Spectre!
Shot, dead.
Mr. Bond, this is a Burger King.
He had a drink of Fanta Lemon, and he's like, yes, this will be satisfactory.
Nick Rat just likes to watch you guys.
Oh, hi, Denny.
But yeah, I've always, as I was saying before, it's always confused me why he does this, but I've just figured it out myself now. It's because Bond blew the island up, so he has no rich Dexter's Laboratory-esque palace to live in.
Monsieur, you have ruined my inheritance. I am now going to stab you.
But surely, actually, if he has all of Scaramanga's millions, he can just afford to build another one.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the laws of this film are to be obeyed, once Christopher Lee died, Nick Nack inherited the business, so... What?
Just pushes it. I get you. What was that for? I'm going to get you.
This is bad comedy.
Excellent wine throwing, though.
Bordelais 62, Bordelais 58,
Dan, what do
Sean
you mean?
Vincent 76.
Dan, what do you mean bad comedy? Can you not hear the music playing? This is clearly comedic. It's going.
Oh, God. I am suffocating.
I know it's horrible.
Dead.
I know it's horrible and insensitive these days, but it's just the audio of him going, "No, what are you doing? Help me!"
I will kill you if you let me out. Let me out.
That didn't sound like Roger Moore
No, it didn't.
when he went. That was a very grossly overdubbed. Shut up.
Worse than that. Think of the worst thing I could have done.
You know how it's
Think of something worse.
You know how it's revealed at the
I
end
did that.
that Bond pussied out and just like tied him up. I've got this
Yeah.
image of like all the way back to the UK. Nick Nack just breaks out like every half hour or so. They go through that same scene again we've just gone through. by the sixth time with the music. By the sixth time, Bond's just like, I am trying to get my end away.
Oh no, I was imagining the other. I would just be like, oh no, not again. Like he doesn't do it enough. He doesn't tie him up enough so that he knows he's definitely not getting out. He always just leaves him a little bit loose just so he can do it every half an hour for the bants.
By the fifth time, he's like, now don't you be doing that again, you. Hey.
Monsieur, you know, if you tie the knots a little bit tighter, I will not be able to escape. I know what I'm doing.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. My cock is too loud. Bye.
See you in half an hour. I mean, stay where you are.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. There's a handsome man in my reflection.
Oh, wait, it's me.
That is lazy.
So lazy. It's all right, I can wait.
It's okay, Bond. I've inherited Scaramanga's wacky world. It's my house now, in the middle of my street.
Day 55. Short on water and supplies. The sun is burning me greatly.
He's just a tiny skeleton.
How did Bond get up there?
Well done. So that was the man with the golden gun. Overall, I think it was...
Talk about a mixed bag. Bloody hell.
I like how... This should happen more often in films, where the theme tune is like, oh, the film's over now. Bond is going home.
But he's gonna bunk Britt Eckland before he does.
Then he's gonna punch Nick Nack in the face.
For fun.
So that was Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. I've got to say, I was a little surprised. I mean, its reputation preceded it.
Given the critical acclaim that it's received, I was surprised that the direction was quite by the numbers. The James Bond theme was written by Monty Norman. James Bond will return in The Spy Who Loved Me. But not for another bloody 4 years, enjoy.
Yeah, but not for you. It's like, you could watch it now. You don't have to wait 3 years.
Well, I only have to wait a couple of weeks because obviously we try and do these monthly, and it means I can get it.
So that was The Man with the Golden Gun. It's a movie with a message.
And the Man with the Golden Gun. It was okay.
The message is: little people, Chinese and women, are evil, and they must all be destroyed.
It was all right.
That's my review. Bye.
That's about the nicest thing you could say about it. So Ben, out of 10, what do you rate The Man with the Golden Gun?
Oh, I forgot about this. Out of 10, I'd probably be pretty generous and give it a 4. Those 4 points are mainly for the scenes where Roger and Christopher actually get to like play off each other and have little dialogues like the in the dinner party scene where they're sort of trying to one up each other, stuff like that. There's a useful four-letter word, and you're full of it. I wonder if that was quoted in any of the reviews at the time.
I think that's quite a fair review for you. I enjoyed this one. I liked it. It's problematic. It's a bit overlong for me. I mean, I know I say this about every Bond film, but I feel it could have probably been half an hour shorter, and it probably would have been much better for it. Needed more JW.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 bags. And maybe toss in a little sort of indictment letter for Sheriff JW for when he gets out of the Cambodian holding cell.
Yeah, we've got to help our veteran police officers get back on their feet. So, when I first watched it, I gave it a 7. And I thought I really enjoyed it. Watching it back now, some of the scenes do drag a fair bit. The cine is good in places, but isn't perfect. And like you say, the misogyny stroke, picking on people who are of Asian descent and people of short stature is a bit much. I'm probably going to downgrade it to like a 6. I thought it was okay, but coming off Live and Let Die, it's a bit of a deflating moment, and I'm really hoping that The Spy Who Loved Me will give the series a bit of a kick up the arse again, like Live and Let Die did.
You'll be in for a nice surprise then, because The Spy Who Loved Me is many things, but it's not The Man with the Golden Gun. That's the main part. I'm going to go now and clean myself because I'm covered in rice.
Excellent. I'm a
very messy eater. I basically my eating skills haven't evolved since I was about 4.
Well, I'm going to take the time that we're on our break to brush up on the entire Alan Partridge Spy Who Loved Me intro so that when we do The Spy Who Loved Me, I can quote it verbatim at the start of the episode.
Brilliant. Or just open the video with that clip.
I could make that work. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the comedy dining experience of The Man with the Golden Gun. It's going to be a hell of an edit, so apologies if you managed to spot the breaks. But yeah, take care, and we will see you next time.